Season 13, episode 16.
16, man.
Yes.
16, got 16.
Got the 16th of June.
Yeah, recorded on the 16th of June by the time you hear this.
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes,
man.
yes.
Yeah, man. But before we get into it, before we really get into it, let's pay some bills. Once again, the balance of the season sponsored by Uzuri Online. .co.za. The new e-commerce platform that we, trying to help push, to get, all of these Insta boutiques,
DM for price.
DM for pricing, we're trying to get all of y'all, on this new platform, to help you digitize your operations, you know what I'm saying? So please, if you know anybody who's, still doing body,
some hustle.
when I hustle in like Taban likes to say, the bag, the perfume, hair care products, whatever it is, man. And they don't have a, like a website or anything that helps them digitize the operations or the stock levels, whatever, Uzuri Online could be that platform for them, perfect platform for them.
And they can come chop it up with us as well.
Yeah, and then they can
get
come
the word out.
Yeah, then they can come chop it up with us as well. Or
how they started their business and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Uzuri Online for the plugs. So please check out uzuronline.co.za to make sure site, you know what I'm saying. If you feel like it is something that can help push your business, highlight us and we'll connect you with the homies.
Yes, sir.
We'll connect you with the homies, man. Yeah, man. I think Uzuri was the one. Uzuri was the one, right?
We're still coming to you.
Oh yeah. We're still coming to you live from well, not live, but from
Pere House.
Pere House.
Yeah, we were here last week. They dig the vibe, so they called us back again. Get the fuck out of here. So we back. So Pere House, kind of bachuna the, it's like a family oriented place.
Family oriented space. Well, I think it's an all-in-one, so you can come with a family, you can come as a date, they've got picnic setups, you can come as a group.
Okay, it's a baby shower,
nice functions, birthdays, corporate functions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They have animals you can come feed with your children.
Yeah.
Yes, they've
got
some
body llama, body pere.
Yeah, it's an equestrian estate.
Alpaca.
So it's a very beautiful space.
What's the difference between an alpaca and a llama?
Llamas are usually bigger. Alpacas are smaller than llamas. It's like a horse and a pony. It's kind of the same thing, but ponies are smaller.
Okay.
So alpacas are smaller than.
So these are alpacas.
Yeah.
But they look like llamas.
Yeah, they do.
Like a horse and a pony.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha.
All right, yeah. So Kipera House, highlight them. They're in Kanakeng, Midrand.
Yeah, Fairs.
Kailami side.
Yeah, Kailami side.
Is it still Kailami?
Maybe just slightly out of it, right?
Yeah, headed towards Helderfontein.
Yeah, Helderfontein, yeah.
If you know where Helderfontein Estate is.
Yeah, just off Main Hill. Hill off Main towards Kalami.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so shout out to Pere House, man, for accommodating us again. Yeah, man. I think we paid our bills.
Yeah.
We can get into it, man. Bali's still on holiday.
He's at large. She's at large.
Bali's still on holiday. Let's come also. Let's out the lovely Bali out here
having a good time.
Out here having a very good time.
Time of a life out there.
It was her birthday last week Wednesday.
Yes, it was her birthday.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So shout out to Bali, man. Wahola and we enjoy Bali in Bali.
Yeah, Bali
doing
Bali.
Yeah, doing her thing.
But because she's not been taking her location,
Hey man, she's urkante man. Some exposies, it's fine. Them niggas ain't gonna fetch you that side. Man, from the picture because she's out here living.
Yeah. And
so shout out to Mbali,
her
man.
pictures are with her friends, so we can rule out the blesser.
Yeah, we can rule out the blesser thing.
Maybe the blesser sent the money, didn't go with.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so shout out to Mbali. Fellas, how you guys been?
Been good. Uneventful week, really.
Yeah.
like
Same, man. Really
nothing
happy it's a
much.
short week. You know,
Yeah,
since
it's a short week as well,
Friday, public holiday. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? TG, you good?
I'm alright, my G. I'm alright. I went to a fashion show yesterday in Saturn. That was quite dope.
Giddy Fashion Week.
Yeah, no, not fashion week. There's a school. Their third years were having a fashion show, a display of like the items they have done, their catalogs they've done.
I've been to one of those.
Yeah,
I've been to one of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
the shop.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a artsy fashionista type, but it was cool. It's a nice experience. But yeah,
That's
I've
my
been
shit,
to one of
yo.
those.
That's
Yeah.
my shit.
Alright, man.
Back outside, boys.
That's it. Since you lead the 16, so y'all niggas got some words for this holiday? You know, any thoughts? You know, you thinking about Hector Peterson, my G? You know, is he in your thoughts?
Nike it's like about to Sarah in the WhatsApp group of our estate there. I get a majority in Selma.
Yeah.
Nekbata over to saka question jekere. What lessons can we draw from the youth of 76? Kutur mangam because you always wonder in South Africa because most holidays are in outside the religious ones are inspired by political events.
Yes.
And you just wonder like mangamling.
Yeah, them
It's
niggas.
just like a holiday for them.
Yeah, it's a Pride Day or some shit. Bro.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
always want to get into the psyche and gamla, you know. Is it a triggering day? Is it a day where they feel like it's a self-reflection,
Sure.
you know? Or maybe they just don't give a fuck.
So,
You know?
so off Mike Mo was saying like he doesn't give credence to these motherfuckers, these young striker icons.
Nah,
you know?
he didn't say that.
Yeah, he did.
He said the kids.
I said
Yeah,
the kids.
yeah,
the young
ones.
Yes.
That's
The
what I
young ones.
said.
Well, they're all young because these were high school kids. So invariably, they'd all be young. But they're these little motherfuckers, you know, your grade 8s who weren't even in the planning committees, who just happened to be overtaken by a wave that they then decided to ride. And I was also saying that even if you wanted to go in the school that day, you couldn't have. So you were just part of one big mob of students who went and do something. But I wouldn't really give you credit insofar as the mastermind or the people whose responsibility it was in spearheading that movement.
I know for sure,
Yeah.
for sure. But
So
you
I
still
don't
need
look
the
at
numbers,
I don't
right?
look at a Hector and see a hero. That nigga was in the wrong place at the wrong time at the wrong age and he got hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he caught us straight. But you need the numbers,
You know,
right? If
he
you
was-
start in something like this.
That was a child. He shouldn't have been there. But
He just got caught by a stray.
yeah.
You need the numbers.
I haven't watched a June 16 documentary in a while, so I need to refresh my memory. There was not a call for it to be a stay away for kids. Because was there a call for it to be a stay away?
I think they could have been because Kibo Tsietsia by plan that thing. Is it? It's machine in.
It's machine in.
Yeah, Kibo by plan that thing. I think there was a.
So
why
sharp
would
sharp.
this-
So sharp ne babatlas to stay away.
No.
Capo, was it always going to be a march?
I got off.
If my memory serves me right,
Did you
if
look
my
that up?
if my memory serves me right, school needs to like I say normal.
Yeah.
Then there were strategic points
To do what?
to then protest
To
Oh.
meet.
to meet.
and-
Oh.
because
Yeah.
their parents were not supposed to know.
Yeah.
So had there been a call for a stay away, parents would have known and stopped them in their tracks.
So the plan was to galvanize
Yes.
everybody.
So what I'm saying there, it was not a plan for kids not to be away from school.
So they had planned to galvanize those kids
Yes.
to be part of.
Eh.
Yeah, and if the kids were brave enough to join, hey man, you gotta commend the kids for being brave enough to join, right?
So-
Even if they got caught by sweat, because that's the risk you take.
Baba ne ba sa tsebe le go etsahalang.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As a child, you don't have the
Baba-
wherewithal,
eh,
bro.
Baba ne ba sa tsebe go etsahalang.
Yeah, man.
It's just like when ubona ho etsahala mob justice,
Yeah.
and you're just in the mix.
Yeah.
You know, and niggas start throwing shit and swinging shit, and you get hit.
Yeah, because like for a longest time we thought like boy Hector Peterson are the heroes, but like he was like
Yeah, he just got hit.
he was
bro.
just I think the thing about him, he was the first to get hit.
Yeah, he was the first to get
Yeah,
hit.
he was the first to get hit.
So meaning he was in the front.
Not necessarily maybe in the front, he's just at the wrong place at the wrong time. Like
Hey man, you don't know that.
Wi-Fi,
He could have been in the front.
Honobalu, man.
Could have been in the front, bro. I mean, why don't you want to give this kid his badge, bro? You got here. Just give the kid his give the kid his badge, man.
Yeah, they were marching.
They were marching.
They were marching.
They were marching, and then on the way they were met by armed police who fired tear gas and later live ammunition on demonstrating students. So yeah.
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 So yeah, but
Yeah, man, give the kid his badge, man.
It was supposed to be a peaceful protest.
yeah, it's supposed to be a peaceful protest. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hey.
My mom is one of those people. She had no idea what was happening.
She was
when
late.
about to Bafetara and she joined them. And my uncle, calls her age.
In Longwana school at the time, ne?
Longwana school.
So because other kids were not in the know.
Yeah.
So they were only gonna be know. They were only gonna know in the day.
Sure,
type of thing.
Sure.
Because if everybody had known, it was gonna be foiled. The plan was gonna be foiled.
The parents would have stopped
Yes,
it.
the parents would have stopped.
Yeah.
And Babang would have ran their mouths, and then the cops would have known.
They had to leave the country. They went to go finish high school. go
Yeah,
to-
lots of them had to leave the country.
No word?
Yeah.
No, the planners.
Especially those that were caught on camera because they could be identified. Because at school, I was in school with a girl whose mom was there, and the mom was 15, and then Abare, all those that were on the pictures, like the same as the guy who on our kid like Buisa Makubo.
He disappeared.
He disappeared and he's never been found. And then
Meaning he got.
no, he skipped the country.
Oh, he skipped the country.
He was last seen in Botswana. In fact, he had a kid in Botswana as well.
Oh, okay.
But what happened was that most of those that were visible in terms of like on the footage,
Hey.
so she was saying her mom had to go to the rurals.
Oh, damn.
Titi Machine also
Oh,
skipped the country.
he had to go.
He died in exile actually. Titi Machine.
Yeah, he married Miss something.
Miss Liberia.
Was it Miss Liberia?
Yeah, but somewhere in Africa, ne?
Yeah, up there.
Guinea or something. Yeah.
How old was he when he had to
Probably
pass like
was
that?
around 19.
Damn.
19,
B.
20.
Yeah, he was.
Was
he died in 19. What am I saying? 19.
He died in 90.
1990.
91.
TG, what's the
Yeah.
code, man?
Yeah, he died in 1990.
Was he ANC affiliated?
Nah, you see the kids during that time, in the 76 period, was especially during the time where ANC had been banned and they had gone underground and controversies was on the rise.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of their ranks were being filled by a lot of black movements, especially the black consciousness movement.
Yes,
because that
Pan-Africa.
in 76 it was at its peak. Yeah, and a lot of these kids were coming from those bodies. And then you did see a lot of them join the ANC en masse.
Okay.
And then a lot of them leave the country to go join them in Tanzania or Zambia or wherever they were as MK.
Yeah,
MK.
like, if you've watched the movie Solomon Mahlango, it's like it also
Oh, it
it's
covers.
it's a similar thing, yeah.
It covers that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Liberia. Married Walma Campbell, daughter of parliamentarian. Damn.
He was in it.
Yeah, my nigga.
Also, so how about Fitla that Vele, they already found a network.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
the network Boma Angola, Mozambique was quite
Sure.
huge already.
Sure. So it's not like niggas were out here stranded or something.
It's machine. Yeah, Labua Mutlo is an intelligent boy.
Yeah, no.
All right, man.
But he was not out. Secretary, which political was he wearing his political mask on his sleeves? Or was he affiliated? Because like Barata Kliman.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't give him to the ANC.
Yeah,
I would give him to the Black Consciousness Movement.
Yeah.
Bafana Niseba, South African Students Movement, a student body established to assist students with the transition of matric to university. Okay, that was one of the other bodies. But these are scholars of Black consciousness.
Yes, yeah.
Bafana Babiko bana.
To even pull off a mission already
Sure.
tells you.
Kintona tsa biko and the way ba buang wa bona re.
Very intelligent.
It's not as ma khotmanala ba dilembo bo madiba bo
Bombay.
Marxists.
Okay, these are
With the Lenin.
yeah.
Intwana tsa bi.
Shekovera.
Ke bafana ba biko.
Yeah.
Bafana ba bi. And kana ne ba lwanela masepana Africans yana.
Yeah. Nebalwanela primarily Africans as a medium.
Yeah, being introduced
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
That
That city Sabo Matli was inspired by it a bit when we were black.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yes, was
I
inspired
think
by
so.
it.
That show, yeah, man.
Yeah, it was inspired by it.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, it was.
I think it was, man. I think it was.
It was a nice one.
Yeah, man. Aye. Yeah,
check it out. I think SABC probably has archives has that
I
one
know
as
for
well.
sure.
I want the check.
For sure. Yeah, man. And obviously, Kishore, this entire week, it'll be the commemoration, the speech and whatnot, and obviously the question that always brings. Well, I think it's they keep bringing this question every time it comes around. Or what are the youth struggles
Of today.
Against
the government.
Yeah, maybe TG would give us some fucking headline.
Joblessness.
Because all you guys care about is TikToks and what?
Bro, TikTok, you
know what I'm saying?
This is just what's
TikTok's saying I'm up beyond. Yeah, but joblessness, man. I think Mo is right, man. Unemployment is fucking crazy right now. Yeah, so I think,
that's the youth today's.
That's what they should be tackling.
It's joblessness.
Yeah, man.
How's Nugent?
And alibali, halitubala.
Yeah.
That niggas can't read for meaning. Like,
that's why we all DJs, bro.
That niggas can't read.
That's why we all DJs.
Wow.
Yeah, I got about to show you.
There was a study that
there was a study that came out.
Covered it that time.
Yeah, where these niggas can't read, bro.
My grade 4 can't read for understanding.
Yeah, but grade 4 children, bro. When you say youth, I don't speak of those. I speak about like the immediate future leaders of the nation. That's the youth. So your high school to
first years.
I'd say maybe 16. Your 16 to the mid 20s.
Yeah.
60 to mid 20s kids.
Yeah.
That's the immediate future. That's the next incoming.
Yeah, that's the next on the pipeline.
Yeah.
Sure.
Conveyor belt.
Yeah.
Keep on, that's about 30%. Products are inch.
Yeah, but I'm just not sure what the big problem the high school kids though is. Like, what are they dealing with today in terms of
I wonder
in terms of the struggle. What struggles do they have? Is
there's no core values. Like, values aren't like a thing anymore.
But let's talk about something that we can pin on the government of the day.
Okay.
Why?
Yeah, quality education, I would say. Right?
Yeah.
Why do you want to pin? Why does it have to be something you can pin on the government?
I think I'm just trying to draw the parallels with June 16. We are 76. That one was based mainly on Afrikaans as a medium that was
being introduced
by the government.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying something that we feel.
What gripe can they have?
Yes.
With
that
the
can be where they can have a political kind of agitation around it.
Quality education, right?
Yeah, so maybe education, you can say it's that. Yeah, you
can
say it's quality education.
Yeah, the quality of it.
Yeah,
but I would take the core values one as well, only because they forgot everything else. So in their attempt in trying to liberate the black person, they forgot about the values that we needed to have as communities. It's like, especially with their social engineering projects or whatever it is that they try to do, because they used to give us like your soul cities, they were making some effort back then, but the kids today, I don't think they have anything.
The assembly,
because it brought out those religious things. Yeah, so it's about to stop the assembly.
Yeah, so I think like core value wise, they are neglected.
Yeah.
Yeah, word.
In primary scale, and it's like our father every day.
Yeah.
We don't do that anymore.
Yeah, that doesn't happen no more.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen no more.
Corporal punishment. But they are happy to have that. They are happy to have that.
Yeah. I know for sure. And then, there's talks about league subjects like LO are useless. People swear, and those things are important. And I think you know what I'm saying.
Actually, the core value stuff is actually quite a big thing.
Yeah, because that actually determines the type of adult you're going to deal with.
It's a foundation. Because I saw like Gaten McKenzie, the interviewer, because he said that was his last interview anyway. Mainstream media. We get in routine.
Oh, the one he had with
Sizwe.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'm bringing back God in the schools.
Yeah.
To suspend the Constitution.
I wasn't mad at that interview.
I gave one in full, but Maragari, he was shooting from the hip a lot.
Nah, but he was bringing gems.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Gary was shooting from the hip a lot, but
Go to some mangam. No, but I go to constitution because bad about go on to ba wabo. Go on to ba. About link ion wabo. So about now I will take constitution key change
and put it to
bring
the
in
side.
the changes because if the constitution is a barrier to us changing a lot of things, then maybe we should start by changing the constitution.
Sure.
Then that's why then Mangamla will then start, painting him like he's a bad person. The same way with Malema.
Yeah.
Once you say nationalization because it touches on
Land.
yeah. So, but I'm not too mad at his politics.
Alright, man. And when we're looking at maybe a quick one before we change it up, the youth movements, even in politics, they're not really front and center like they used to be. If we looking at the ANC Youth League,
Yep.
I don't know if EFF even has a youth arm.
It doesn't.
And all the others. You know what I'm saying? Like there just doesn't seem to be any active political youth
EFF
movement.
is a youth movement in its very nature.
How it was started by the youth.
But I agree, now them it's El Mahotman.
I think over time, as the decades pass, you might see a youth movement spring up out of the EFF ranks. But for now, most of them
It's
are
a
young
very
people.
youthful organization. It's a very youthful organization.
Alright.
How so
Yeah.
like at a large scale.
At a large scale.
Yeah, for there to justify a faction of
In fact,
youth.
going back to what Muriso was asking, or actually was you, Des. If I look at the politics today, and I think we've covered this before, we said, if we all agree, Hore, we are where we are because of the ANC. And then we said, but taking out the ANC is like throwing out the baby with the bathwater as well. I would say, if the youth was to say, we are happy with the core vehicle, which is the ANC, the liberating movement, we're just not happy with who is in the helm and inside the bus, right? We feel like in this bus, there's not enough youth. So therefore, the youthful ideas and progressive ideas are not,
they're not pushing forward.
Still not even aware there's a GPS.
Yeah, they're not pushing forward.
From a technology point of view. So what is? So actually, if the youth of today would look at this thing in a smart way and say, a lot of us, we have not taken politics seriously, because everything is entertainment, is this. If we could just pay a number that says, if we were all to just register en masse ANC, and then there's 500,000 of us that become members, I think maybe ANC membership stands at about between 1.5 and 2 million, just card carrying. Well, if we had to infiltrate the movement to be its members, but then force our ideals, because that's what Bo Mandela did, by the way. That's what Bo Mandela did.
That's what they did.
Yeah, that's what Bo Mandela did. So I think the youth of today should be doing that, because a lot of them, it's like Bafila frustration now. We hate the ANC, we don't want the ANC, but then we also don't want to start our own thing because it's so difficult to start, So the thing is, go hijack the bus.
What's even more upsetting is that then they decide not to use any bus.
Yeah, they said,
Yes.
Bonabile Baba desponded, they sit out beside the road.
That's
But
what the problem is.
That's, you see, because I'd be more forgiving if at least if this is not the bus that you wanted to get on, at least get on some bus.
Get on some bus, yeah.
Don't just sit on the side of the road.
Yeah, that's what they want to do. They want to sit on the
that's
side.
what they do. They're so unhappy about this party that their parents brought them up in, but they don't want to go vote. They don't vote.
They don't vote. They don't. They're not registered. Bro. Register.
Yeah.
See, that's the.
So it's better the devil, but hijack the bus.
Hijack the bus.
That's one more thing that I put on the government. One more thing that I put on the government: the youth not voting.
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a societal problem that we have.
Yeah.
It's an ill, that thing of not voting, but it works in the ANC's favor
So
because
does.
once the youth start flocking because you don't see the ANC encouraging the nation to go vote.
Yeah.
They don't.
It's
bro.
dangerous for
Yes,
them.
it's dangerous.
Yeah, because they go to your parents. By stock filling, by batho ba baholo to encourage your grandmother to vote.
They'll say vote ANC, right? They don't say please go and vote.
Yeah.
There isn't a nationwide campaign to encourage
youth
the
voters
citizens to go and vote. Vote to vote ANC. So they're saying, if and when do you decide to go to the polls, vote for us.
That's such a.
But if you don't go,
It's
that's good for us too.
That's such an instructive thought, actually, because think about it, ne? When it comes to democracy, if I was so interested in getting everybody to vote, I would punish non-voting, even if it's not criminally. You know, like the same way like COVID, you need to be producing your certificates. Like make it very difficult for somebody who wants to live in a country where he does not want to have a say about that country.
Yeah.
And voting should be that important. It should be that important. Like you need to find a way to socially punish, if not legally, people that don't want to vote.
Yeah.
But the ANC would not do that, because if you do that, then you are forcing the youth to have, and they want to do it against you. In fact, they want to even hate the fact that the ruling party is the one that's forcing us to actually vote.
Because my thing is, you know, and you see, forcing people to vote could and can have and would actually have unintended consequences, because you might see the country being steered in a direction that you wouldn't like it to be.
Yeah.
As an ANC person, if I encourage people to come and vote, I stand the chance of losing power.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if we know just what the sheer amount in terms of numbers, the majority of the population is. You might not necessarily want to be privy or be part and parcel or be affected by the decisions made by these people who you deem to know less than you.
Yeah.
Who you deem to not be able to make as an informed decision as you. And they might plunge the country into some other shit that they are none the wiser about.
Yeah.
You see, so you also don't want to give them decision-making power because they don't know anything. I'm not saying that's how I feel about them.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, those are the stance of the educated, the stance of the elite, the stance of the those that have property, that the poor should not be allowed to vote because they don't own any property. Thus, how can they make any decisions that are going to affect me as a property owner? Yeah. I say that to say, my thing is, if the majority of the nation decides that we are going that way, ill-informed or not, that's what the nation wants.
Yes, which is what you were saying about the principle of the jury.
Of jury. But this is what everybody wants, B. This is what the majority wants.
Because if you look at the what they call a sentiment measure, sentimentally South Africans are angry with the ANC. But then there's this discord disconnect where on the voter turnout, it does not reflect that.
It does not reflect
That is because on the day of voting, that sentiment that you see on Twitter, you know, on social media or on mainstream media is not reflected, because those are the people that can set out and have wine and decide they're not going to vote. Whereas now the people that Mutsi is talking about, who either are the non-wires or whatever, they're still the people that are swayed by a food parcel to vote.
And that's the other unintended consequence, because once you invite all those people to the polls en masse, it gives rise to populist politics.
Yeah.
That's how parties like the EFF have gained power.
Yeah.
That's how Nazi Germany came into being. It was playing to the emotions of the disgruntled poor, unemployed. Mussolini's government came from that. Chairman Mao's government, all the totalitarian states come from that. So be that as it may, you might want everybody to go to the polls, but those people at the very same time, and that's what I'm saying now, are very susceptible. So it's a
catch-22.
Yeah, it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22. Mara, hey, yeah, niggas need to. I feel like niggas need to.
Even when you were saying, like, let's say that what you were mentioning, or y'all wanna be DJs, right?
Yeah.
It's fine. Take one. You are passionate about arts, ne? But you are not even galvanizing for the government to recognize even the ministry that governs. You know, where you should be saying, like, why is it still a 60-year-old? Nkosazana Zuma is the Minister of Youth.
Yeah.
That's crazy,
That makes
you know, and then you then wonder the consequence of like platforms like maybe Spotify, where they don't pay people enough. But China, you don't go to China, if you try to come and exploit, they make sure that politically their subjects are protected, right? You look at your platforms like SABC or whatever, which still plays mainly American music. You look at Amapiano ends up breaking in America, but here locally you feel like there's no structures to
help push it.
To help push it. And even that, you are failing
should
to
anger the
galvanize
youth.
yourselves.
Yeah, should anger the
around.
youth.
Yeah, you're very right, because Amapiano Festival is not even in the country. It's in Portugal.
Ooh.
It's not something that happens in Mozambique. And to put together an Amapiano Festival in South Africa, logistically is a bit tricky, because...
Yeah, you need the government to help you guys out to do
Because
that.
brands, let's be honest, brands, even with all these events, it's along Mumzansi, very low-key white events get a lot of money from corporate. Then big black, led by black people events like Back to the City, when Osmic started, I think he was a youth, he was very young, he probably still is, but he still has to go through so many struggles, right?
Niggas like that need
But
to be
those are the
helped.
things that the youth of today should be saying. But you as a brand, KFC or whatever, like we see when we have our shit, we go and support you all and stuff like that. But when it comes to properties that are owned by us, you don't want to give us the bag. But when it's a white thing, we see you guys all over and supporting them. So how do we even organize ourselves as consumers to get at business and also get at government?
Word,
So I think that's what the youth should be concerned about today.
And the thing about the youth, there's a certain vigor and robustness and energy that they have and militancy that they have that people expect to see, from the youth. And y'all niggas are lackluster right now. You know what I'm saying?
It's misplaced, really. Like, people are just focused on other things, not the important things per se.
On challenges and TikTok.
Amen. Yeah, man.
I was having a conversation with the young boys the other day there in the hood, and these boys have zero interest in voting. They don't know who the deputy minister is. They don't know, the deputy presidents. They don't know, like, what's going on with our politics. They don't know.
About reading newspaper,
Nothing.
check out the online newspaper, something, Times Live, whatever.
They're telling me they're not going to vote. Like, literally,
And to the
they told me.
ANC, this is a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, it's a blessing for them. For
to
sure.
them, it's a blessing in
sure.
disguise.
Yeah.
They actually don't want y'all niggas
Yeah.
to go vote.
Yeah.
They don't.
They would have long been out.
And when you tell them, okay, yeah, go vote, they're like, yeah, but we're going to end up voting
For what?
the ANC
Yeah.
because of our parents. I'm like, man, fuck your parents, man. Like, make your own decision.
Fuck your parents, for real. For real. Those should be the stances of the youth. Hey, those should be the stances of the youth. Mara, speaking of voting, man, and voter shit. So I get the expulsion at AC ila confirm, all right?
Yes.
So now there's talk or Julius actually quite confirmed or he's gonna look to try to court.
Are they speaking?
Are they speaking, right? To court him to the EFF, because it's still believed, he still has a lot of support in the Free State. It could help bolster EFF numbers in the Free State.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of people who have good feelings, especially around that part of the country, around ACE. Creaty Lady Dog, a lot of professionals come from that nigga's hands. Him shifting to the revolutionaries will really bolster their numbers.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about Ace moving to the EFF?
It's a good play on EFF's part.
It is. Malema is such a shrewd politician, bro. Like, I saw that interview he did, ne? I think it was with 702. And then they're like, yeah, so you were busy dissing him when he was a member of the ANC, blah, 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 or he's corrupt and whatnot. Then he says to the presenter, I'm a political player within this current structure of Ntwewe. It's the numbers that matter, right? Now you ask me about the character of a person, but I'm playing in a game where numbers matter.
I'm playing numbers.
So for now, it means for me to change my to be in the steering wheel, I need to get as many people in the bus to support me. So right now what I'm playing is a game that gives me numbers first. Then I will come to the character after. But now if I go for character and whatnot. I'm never gonna get numbers.
I'm never gonna get the numbers
so,
I need.
I am gonna quote this guy, even though I did disagree with him politically, because I'm looking for numbers.
And he's got
the numbers. Then re tla mo rehabilitate within
the movement.
And ha sa le mona ha no kgona go senyetsa because he's right under my nose now.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
I'm watching it.
So yeah, but like I did say last week, I obviously ANC Ace Lizuma again.
Yes.
With that whole Mzwanele, Manye, and that guy, I'm still saying there's a Jay-Z hand there.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The same way there was a Mbeki hand in Cope.
And it's a smart move, like for them maybe to join something since Imata, you know. Yeah, Baskatlo it's what Bolikota did try to start something new, you know. Join us something since Imata.
Do you guys honestly believe that the EFF will ever take government?
I think it might take some time. It's not something that's gonna
ask you how long it'll take, my nigga.
Yeah,
I could see you. Do you think that one day EFF will be the ruling party?
Yeah, I see that happening.
I think so.
Yeah, I see that happening. For sure.
I think so.
For sure.
In fact,
for sure, I see that happening.
I foresee, because when it comes to black parties, it's a clear candidate to take over from the NC. Even with what Malema is doing, I see in the future or in the near future, I see a very big splint out of ANC and mass to EFF.
That could happen,
especially
too.
If Ace can join.
You see an exodus?
Yeah, I'm seeing an exodus.
A mass exodus, maybe because at some point.
Previously, what we used to see a breakaway of a new party, and people have seen that out of all those, only EFF has been growing steadily year on year.
Yes.
I think the way Malema is playing his cards, he's gonna recruit directly from the thing. Because if you look at Malema would always say, "Kitejetsu ANC hand," because they didn't want my ideals, and there's a lot more people that feel like me. It's just that nebaja. But the more ANC is a loser, and then people see that it's a sinking ship, people are gonna jump to the EFF.
Word. I see that happening.
I see people jumping to the EFF en masse.
Yeah, and he'll continue poaching from that side. And Labour to Baba disgruntled with the ANC for whatever reason, because ASO I wanna like this situation. ANC for Tawasabo.
Yeah.
And he needs a political hold.
Yeah.
He knows he needs it.
And
to be constantly relevant as well. The EFF is just the one that makes sense.
So if you look at Malema, he's now very close to Zuma. He's very warm towards Mbeki. They've patched up their relationship. In fact, Mbeki today is a big critic of the sitting government. Right? In fact, I think Mbeki is going to be a guest of honor on the 10th of July. When is it 20? I think EFF is doing a celebration. Yeah, something. There's a rally at FNB.
Is it?
Yes, where he says where Professor Lumumba is also coming.
Oh, word.
That guy from Kenya. So I think Mbeki is gonna be.
It's gonna be a guest.
Yeah, I think Zuma too is gonna be a guest. So Malema is playing
It's on the 29th of July.
Yeah, 29th of July. It's because I saw they were doing the inspection this week. So I think he's gonna be there.
Nah, that's dope. So
I see it happening.
Do you guys think that the DA will ever become the ruling party?
Nah.
No.
Why not?
Nah, that's not gonna happen. Nah, I think black people are still distrusting of whites.
Or maybe let me ask it like this. It might not be in your lifetime. Do you think that the DA will ever get a federated government? Do you think the DA will ever get Western Cape?
Yes, I think they will.
As a separate country?
No, not as a separate country.
Not as a separate country.
They have Western Cape now.
Yeah, but not as a separate country.
As a what?
Well, you can still as a provincial government they can.
They're a provincial government now.
Yes, that's what I'm saying, but not as a country.
Yeah, but I'm not asking about what is. I'm saying because what they're doing, if you look at their strategy right now, they are really working or fighting for a federated government.
Yes.
Right? Even if it's not a separate country. And by federated, I mean, look at how America runs itself right now. Where the states run themselves as quasi or maybe smaller scale
Yeah.
countries. Yeah, they'll never get the numbers to achieve that.
Even that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
even that.
Yeah, I don't think they
Even
will.
the federation.
Even the
Yeah.
federation.
Because I think also there's a very big colored and black voter base. In fact, Gaten is eating a lot into the colored vote now. So the thing is with each and every vote, depending on how you fare in the votes, it always goes lopsided. Depending on the messaging, depending on the new parties that also crop up. Then you still have the floor crossing legislation that still allows people to break from one
Party to the
to
next.
another. So it's not that we contest election by election. So something that you may have had in the past election may drastically change in the next.
Is Kenya a member of parliament?
No, he's of the legislature, of the Johannesburg legislature.
Why is he not a member of parliament?
Because I guess you've got a provincial government.
Yeah, they
Can you go then?
Yeah, he's with PA, I guess.
Yeah, he's with PA. You can't be both. You can't be both a national MP and a
legislative one.
MEC member.
Oh, okay.
He's an MEC is a member of the executive council, but that's at the provincial government.
Provincial level.
You can't be both.
Okay.
Can't be both.
How many seats do they have though in the? Do you know?
Don't they have one
In parliament?
in parliament? I think they have one. They have more.
Yeah, Sizwe Mpofu was doing it when he was studying that when he was doing the interview with Gaten. He showed how they won. They went from 7 to about 60 something.
Oh, what?
No, man.
They have that many seats.
Yeah,
They've got quite a number of seats.
Yeah, maybe TG can check.
Yeah,
Yeah,
TG would check out how many seats they have.
Alliance.
How many seats they have
How
in
many seats they
parliament.
have. So
So where were you going with it?
Nowhere.
All right.
You just want to know.
Because I thought it was gonna. I thought it was gonna. He's cooking to something.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. I just wanted to know if people actually think that. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the future unfolds.
Do you care if the
For
president
those
was
of us
white or
that'll
not?
be here, huh?
Do you care if the president was white or not?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I might be the wrong person to ask. Maybe if you asked my child or his children, they might have a different view.
Yeah.
But I know too much about what happened, even
Yeah.
though I wasn't physically there. But
Yeah. Wouldn't it be something that you indoctrinate? Your thoughts?
So I'm watching Shaka Zulu again. So my son sometimes, he'll be asking me questions about things that he's seen there. And he asked me a question. I can't remember what the question was. But
You remember your answer?
yeah, I remember the answer. We were talking about white people, what white people did. But I can't use like high grade language. I have to use
Yeah. Age
So I'll
appropriate.
just say, this happened because white people were being mean to black people.
Yeah.
And as soon as I said it, I was a bit ashamed because I sort of saw myself also as perpetuating division between.
Black and white.
Black and
Yeah,
white.
but no, why should I not tell him?
Whilst I'm just in need.
Why should I not? At the same time, why should I not tell him that this is what they did?
Yeah.
Which can need.
It's the truth.
It's the truth, in fact.
And
need.
and also besides that eliminate, somebody was saying to me, Hore, a lot of the time, which was I think the ideological difference between Malcolm X and Martin Luther. So Martin Luther was more like, we want to fight to be equals, and so we don't have to fight back. And then whereas Malcolm X is more like revengeful, right? So you was like saying, the thing at this thing, Rainbow Nation, is that Rona, we wanna start from saying we are now forgiving you, we are moving forward. And it's like, but Mangamla, Bona, in their everyday experience, they are still treating their kids as the superior race. Even if maybe they don't say it by words, but by expression, by saying avoid a service ya motho motho, by saying motho motho ke yana ko makanga tlung, because I'm sure kids ask, but why we've never had a white cleaner? Kids probably ask those questions like, why every time we go to the restaurant, like, we are not served by?
Because it still seems that white people are indoctrinating their kids. Well.
Then Rona is
and
like
themselves.
And themselves. Then make at Rona, we become too
committed to the ideal.
Too committed. You know what I mean?
To the ideal of this rainbow thing. Okay, maybe let Eric come hudisa. Anale ntweno ya hore.
Kapa o tla khosa masepa skela botse ntho
it's not. Why what?
So
Because Jesus, it's like that Magashule Mbali le Des. Mbali and I once saw a white guy hitchhiking, dressed in a suit. Looked like he was going to church. We were on our way to Cosmo to record.
Yeah.
And I saw the same white man on a different off-ramp at Bears.
So what this game?
So New Road on-ramp. Bears. No, dear. Do you see the distance? This man is dressed in a suit. That day it's a Saturday. It was a Saturday. And I'm like, this is
nigga.
This is how they beg. Right? This is how they beg. Or you'll see them at the robots with their placards. Right? But not one of them. You'll never see not one in the kitchens or in the gardens.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
So no matter how poor you are, you still deem certain jobs to be beneath you.
You'd rather ask money from the street because another fellow white would give you.
Yeah. I know mona gardening, I know mona atlina toilet, kapa etsa shop right
I don't
even see him at the fucking taxi rank. And based on how you grew up, you don't even have the skill. So even if I was to hire you as a gardener, how it's a little bit of because
what's soft.
Can I just interrupt you? The seats, the Patriotic Alliance.
Yes.
Yeah, they have 0 seats. They have 0 seats. The votes they had last time was 6,660.
Oh, so, they ain't got
they have no seats in the parliament.
Yes.
But they've got in the provincials.
In the provincial, they got seats.
They are kingmakers in the provincials.
Okay,
cool. Yeah, man.
Well, what until
there's just certain things that they deem below them.
So that's the superiority complex.
And it's about hulal kayo.
And guys, let's be honest with ourselves, right? That's how a complex works, right? Even Ronabat Baruteiling, like for example, myself too, right? There is a certain sense I can see I have certain biases. So if maybe I relax myself, it's like whether it's a work, whatever. It's like
you get your guard up.
Yeah, meaning there are things where I have to consciously work myself out of. Wabo. But that's how a complex works, right? Mangamla today, don't like about the position of power wrong. They still in their superiority complex.
They have their complex.
Yeah, they have their complex out.
And it can't be helped on either side.
Yes. And the thing about a complex, is that we tend to also wanna like deny it. Wabo? Like we tend to wanna deny it, ne? Mara, a complex is that thing you're not deliberately going out of your way to disrespect somebody because he's black, right? It's an inbuilt thing.
Yeah,
it's
a factory setting.
Yeah,
it's a factory setting.
It's a factory setting. It's a factory setting. You've like think about it. You grew up your entire life dishing out instructions to black people, black gardeners, black cleaners. Then when you are chucked into the workplace for the first time, you have to deal with blackness as authority. We don't blame you, but the problem is that the reason we can never rid ourselves of this honestly is because everybody else. In a professional, we're not everyone will say no, I don't.
And nobody wants to speak about it.
Yeah,
you're
lying.
All lying. We all lying. We check ourselves. I can say we check out and sometimes the seniors, you see, we do this a lot. Carry cashiers, which is actually a perfect example. So a lot of times when we look at cashiers and how they treat black clients versus
how they treat,
we make it sound like it's a conscious decision about tell about daki. How daki? I don't have a complex about you. We are equals, even though you're a customer and I'm a service provider. So the way our interactions, yet our co-service without and I can even express myself. Halingamla, like a chepis, because of my complex. That's how I grew up. You know, lengamla le hlompiwa le tswang, I check myself. It's a complex that we have. But how come mutur lona le hlompha mangamla feta bota it's a complex, and until you admit it, that's the only time you can solve it.
I think to going back to what Mo was speaking on, like we need to try re hutse bana without the complex, mara without them kind of king not knowing what happened. You know what I'm saying? I think it's important for us to indoctrinate them mangamla bajwa and mangamla banana go bona bajwang as well.
And they are not to be trusted.
Baskaba unprepared when they start then experiencing those complexes that white people have against them. You know?
I'm reading a book now. So like Native life in South Africa. Yeah, it's based around the Natives Land Act that was passed during the time the book was written. He was actually campaigning against it not being passed. So he even, what is the word? Lobbied to the British Crown to try and block this legislation from coming through.
Yeah.
And what the Native Land Act effectively did was, as a black person, you were no longer allowed to buy land in an area demarcated for white occupation, people. And you were not allowed to squat on a farmer's land. Right? You were not allowed to squat on a farmer's land unless you were in the service
of that white man,
of that farmer.
Yeah.
Right? Which would then render the labor that you did and your livestock his.
Slavery.
If you don't, thank you, that's the word that he was using. If you do not want to do that, if you don't want to be in the service of him or have a sort of like a tenant-landlord relationship, then you had to leave. But you are in the Free State. Anywhere you go in the country,
that's
there's
their
law,
land.
right? So what happened was you would see it's an exodus, bruh, of black people, black families going in whatever direction, looking for places to stay with the hundreds and thousands of livestock that was dying on the road because they had no homes. Black people overnight didn't have homes. Some had to travel all the way up to the borders, Botswana. But can you imagine the perils that he has to go through? People were dying on these roads. Old people were passing away.
Kids. Others were giving birth.
Bro.
Livestock, like this is somebody who rendered you poor, where your family or your descendants could have looked a bit different today had you been allowed to keep that livestock back then.
Yes.
And to live there.
Yes.
Nafana go find a place.
Yeah, and I read that book and I get emotional, bro.
Yeah.
And I look at them different.
And it's one of many. It's just one of many.
One of many. I think stories like that are important, and stories
the Native Land Act and what
that did. Stories like that are important, and stories like that should not be forgotten, especially by us. And again, that's why I get going back to the earlier comment that you made, if white people even recognize these holidays, these political holidays, I could give a fuck less if they do. We need to remember.
We need to.
And we need to be loud and proud about them.
Yeah. And we need to keep that memory alive.
Yeah, alive. We need to remember.
They're trying to whitewash it.
Yeah, they're trying to whitewash it.
You see, one of our biggest undoings, like we don't record stuff. If you look at like somebody usually says we are not angry enough at white people about apartheid and whatnot. Even if you forget apartheid, there's the law in South Africa, just like what you were talking about. This was law.
Yeah, so I wanted to say that Native Land Act is decades before apartheid.
Yeah, so now we always look at apartheid.
Boma 1920.
Yeah, because I was listening on the latest Kwantu podcast. They were talking about the same thing, Wabo. How Sheba Mangamla, like the laws. And then you look at us, because the thing about law is that it's a social engineering tool, right? And its consequences can be felt years after.
Far-reaching,
right?
bro.
And that's why Mangamla would fight tooth and nail for a particular law to be passed if it favors them, because they know generations to come to undo that law. It takes a long time.
Yeah.
Even now today, we know like the totally fucked up in the constitution. But even as a government of the day, because of the treaties and the signatories that we've signed, there are so many consequences to just changing the constitution about land.
Yeah. We're not taking hard stances.
That's why
law.
Mangamla, therefore, when it comes
because we can't afford to.
We can't afford
that's
to take
why Mangamla will fight tooth and nail to change something legally. Legally. Like now you look at the, like this the property laws. And you look at how the way we manage property and ownership in South Africa is so foreign to the native way of doing things.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
because of that law.
Yeah. No, we need to be reminded of these things.
Yeah,
man.
we need to.
Yeah, we need to be reminded of these things, and this guy whitewash down generationally.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like our kids need to know these things.
Yeah.
It's important that they do, because otherwise,
not just know. Some of them not just know. Try to reverse.
Yeah. Try to reverse them. Actually,
fight to reverse them. Fight to reverse them.
Because it's a link to to uphold, to uphold. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you know how Mangamla fan. Think about, because the latest Kwantu Jenny podcast, they're talking about the story because they were spiritual leaders. There's a guy who was an evangelist as well, where Mangamla, when they realized we find solace in our spirituality and they outlawed Musangom. They found a legal way to stop you practicing it.
Your
today,
religion.
When you see how fragmented and how we don't even know where to go about something as natural as spirituality, which was native to us, because of Lehoa.
The Witchcraft Act.
Yeah, Witchcraft Act.
Like you ask somebody about a question, separo se sa wesele ha ke se bone separo ke magoa mara wesele magoa even in Catholic haona magoa ana bo mme ba separo na.
Most of these niggas using laws, they stripped us of our humanity straight up.
So today
displaced you from your home, took your religion,
think about how
take your property, make you dependent on them so that you can be the slave.
And they kept passing laws.
What they actually wanted was labor. That's all we were meant to be. We were meant to be the labor, the hard labor.
And they put laws in place to make that happen.
That's why the education that you were getting was
labor focused. Learn the language. Why Africans?
Yes.
You need to communicate with me.
Why do you need sophisticated education? Hold that Bantu shit. You'll never need to use anything beyond
this.
Yep, don't worry, you're right.
Yeah, relax.
Take this. Those places are not where you are going.
So
and that thing by now, because that thing is in coaching our DNA, bro. We will have a complex.
And now we are so many of us are oblivious of the ramifications those things
had on
us. And how we currently see ourselves. And how we currently see each other. My mom sent me a scripture the other day about, it said, foreigners will come to your land. They will be the money lenders, and you will increasingly borrow money from them. And they will attain power in your land until you are subservient to them. I'm paraphrasing it, right? I knew who she meant by foreigner. But before she could annotate the clip, I said, Mahua kibo another foreigners. I said, Kitze Mahua. And then Yanaha respond. abarisponda ka foreign African people.
I was on a PM that day.
Abarisponda ka foreign African people. What? Kira no.
Manga.
I don't know. Kara are the foreigners.
Manga.
But one of that scripture that you sent me, the people who are lending us money, Kimangamla, the people who are we borrowing money from, Kimangamla, the people who got the power, Kimangamla, the land, Mangamla, Ritena Rulantana China, Libana Baboruna, Huduma Mabaka, Abakuin Kimangamla.
Yep.
Word, bro. Word.
But to one about Alamona.
Yep. There were no borders.
They are our relatives. But we end up fighting foreign African people on problems that were created by white people.
Exactly.
Word, bro. Word.
So that complex, and they keep working.
We forget that.
Yeah. You see it where a police officer in a crime scene, he is the one with authority. Look at how Mangamla, how he interacts with Lingamla versus Daki. How he will treat a person that's in Zimbabwe.
The current discourse on foreigners. When we think foreigners, we're not even thinking whites.
You're thinking right
Yeah,
here,
you're
but
thinking
it's like
here.
a very short-sighted view because you are looking at your immediate circumstance. How next spine? And the few jobs there are, I'm competing with Lebatubato and Kant. But what puts you in that position to
begin with?
Yeah.
Who's the arch villain? Boss am I agree?
Lena kopela kinal debate o lady ka taba tsa bo Bushiri wa bo. Or no. Kere ke tsa bo Bushiri wa to dilatlisa batho. So I'm like kaofela di kereke. I don't know. People must go back to the traditional churches. Which church is traditional? No, Roman Catholic is not traditional. But you see your complex.
Yeah.
The problem is why?
You see your complex. This church started with a missionary here on a mission to evangelize you, right? In fact, leave Bushiri alone to cook.
Back to Shaka. There's a guy called Farewell there who eventually makes it back to the Cape Colony to report back on his experiences with Shaka. He met Shaka. He was charged with the responsibility of going to establish some alliance. So this guy doesn't one day decide to come and
Get us.
Yeah. And he's talking to the, what do you call the
colony master or
colonial governor.
Governor, yeah.
Are you know what our unofficial policy has been. We first get them with their religion, so we send the missionaries in to pacify them. Then we get them with the ram. Right? We get them with the ram.
Listen to that podcast. We talk about that.
To enslave their stomachs. So it's the religion to enslave their minds. It's the ram to enslave their stomachs. And then we send in the infantry to take what is rightfully ours.
Yeah. Right. Listen to that podcast.
And that's how they break us down.
In that podcast,
bro.
they talk about that, or how it's exactly that. It was like this, whenever it is spirituality, we attack their spirituality, then we get them drunk. We get them drunk. You look at the relationship we have with alcohol today, right? You look at our relationship with religion or spirituality.
Right now,
we are in a trance. Like all they're doing is this. They just keep doing this with these two things. We are in a trance. There's nothing else they have to do.
And then they take everything.
Then there's nothing else they have to do.
Right under your nose.
And then we end up fighting ourselves.
On important days, what we gonna fight?
After
we are like
everything. We end up fighting amongst ourselves. For the low camps that are left.
And you know what we're gonna do? After that, we take the best of their best, give them a semblance of superiority in their community. To keep them. The corner house, and then they become that block.
The barrier.
They'll be like Rockville, Power Park, Pimville. You'd get hoods where the houses were bigger, and typically was principals living there, the school inspectors, and the police. So those are the guys along Hore.
Nurses.
Like they become deputy whites.
Yeah, deputy whites.
Basically.
They act like the buffer between the unlikables and the fun.
Shit is triggering.
But fun. And speaking on hard laws, man. One notable kind of bill that has been passed is the national health insurance. Yeah. So it's been passed. It might be signed into law soon. So obviously it's it brings about like a whole lot of questions because it's gonna revolutionize the healthcare. Yeah, the healthcare workings in SA. It's looking like it might be tax funded.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it might be tax funded, and its hope is to level out kind of access to healthcare to everybody.
Which is something good.
And which looking like how how big it may be, it might encroach into private. You know what I'm saying? Some private healthcare
might
medical
have to make room for.
Yeah, they either need to be integrated or they will have to shut down. So there will be job losses, in the private.
What does that look like? It means they have to take less rate. I'm asking
because the way it's being proposed is that Barry, even if you are with a private one, through your taxes you are still going to pay for this one.
Okay, let's take a step back. So currently, my understanding of this is that it tries to get everybody, even the unemployed, to at least have some basic level and access to healthcare.
Healthcare.
We don't have to say, where's your medical aid? That's my paraphrasing of it. We don't, because currently that's what we will do. So an ambulance would say, we need to know whether you have a medical aid for us to take you to, let's say, a milk pack.
So, what services are covered by NHI? NHI is a fund that pays for healthcare for everyone in South Africa. The benefits provided will cover preventative, promotive, curative, and rehabilitative healthcare services.
So what it means for a private hospital then is that currently, as a private hospital, I would not admit you unless you have medical cover. Right?
And H will cover you.
That's what I'm saying. So the practical implications would be, if I had 100 beds before, those 100 beds, I was only taking 100 people that are on medical insurance, which is Discovery for ease of reference. But today, whoever walks in and it becomes a first come, first serve, because at the very least, all of you are covered. You are either by private or NHI.
How is this not compensating for the failure of the government to keep the public hospitals functioning?
It is.
It is. Okay, how will the NHI affect medical schemes?
Because currently public hospitals, you don't require medical aid to be admitted.
Yeah.
So now I guess with the insurance, Babata to encroach even on private.
On private.
On the private facilities. So the private facilities can't say no.
Because then this begs for another question. Then the money that we are potentially going to raise on with this, isn't that enough for you to build just more hospitals?
Or fix these ones?
These ones, let's say,
fix and build
this
more.
You can fix, but I think there's also a capacity issue, right? But I'm saying build more. Like what? So in Joburg we've got like Bara. Outside Bara, what do you have?
Helen.
You've got Helen, Joseph.
There's the Parktown one, Parktown Jen.
It's Charlotte McLean.
Joburg Jen.
Charlotte McLean.
Joburg Jen giving.
I think that might be it. I think it's
Charlotte. Okay.
I think it might be. Is there a government hospital in Pretoria that's well known? In the east, Natal Spirit Hospital is still functional. So I think there is a shortage of hospitals.
So,
or even high, or what you call this, little clinics. I don't think they function the way that they used to.
Yeah, so let me try to give more context. So Bare, okay, how will it affect medical aid schemes? So Bare, the once fully implemented, medical aid schemes will not be able to provide cover for services that are paid for by the NHI. Right?
Okay.
So once fully implemented, so private medical aid schemes will not cover for what the other one already covers for.
Okay.
Right? And then how much will it cost, right? So Balatile like an expert to estimate. So the NHI will probably cost more than 500 billion per year.
Half a trillion.
Yeah, 500 billion a year. So this is the estimated cost. And then another thing, How will it impact health policy? Okay, so we know that it will ease the financial burdens for you to access and then I've already covered the services it will cover.
It must be so busy at the insurance companies right now.
But I think they preempted it. Because I think when you get it's always open for commentary, and that's why I get Mangamla always heard us, because the CEO of Discovery Health was already doing rounds in interviews, and he was like, "Nah, we're not worried about that." Mangamla have a scenario planning for when ANC is not in power. They have a scenario for when Malema is in power. But now they already know this is exactly what we're gonna do, or if shit goes to shit, this is a government where we are already in discussions of if white people have to leave en masse, there's 3 companies or countries that are idling and are ready to process certain things. That's how Mangamla are.
Taking refugees.
That's how Mangamla are, fun.
To me, it sounds like this NHI thing is just a plan for more embezzling.
Yeah, that's also one of the worries, Jorge. You know, does the government have capacity to deal with a scheme so large with the funds?
Imagine if you already have medical aid fraud with private healthcare practitioners, private doctors. You already have medical aid fraud there. Can you imagine a politician?
You are asking for trouble.
They are going to milk it dry using doctors.
Yeah.
Let's go. NHI.
And it's going to be a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of money.
Have you ever realized political funding? All of them agree. Even white and black was lead the DA. They all agree that funders must not be revealed. Because these companies
yeah, no.
But
so obviously, yeah.
But its principle is good.
Its principle is good. Its principle is good. Obviously, the proof is in the pudding.
Yeah.
And considering other state-owned enterprises, the government's track record isn't the best.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they will obviously have to increase, or burden a very small, tax base, in order to fund this, So yeah, shit is just gonna be more expensive, Mara. At least you have, some semblance of free healthcare, B. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no, Mara Retlabona as they implemented, but I don't know. When are your current thoughts? Are you optimistic? Do you want this shit to happen? Are you on the fence? Where do you stand? Your thoughts around the bill? Do you want this shit to happen or not?
I want it to happen, and I want it to run efficiently, because I'm saying there's a principle and there's a practice. I believe in the principle, but NC has shown us, the government of the day has shown us that practically they cannot manage these things. So it's as good as not having it.
Because the boys are gonna chop.
Everything they're doing currently looks good on paper, like it really does.
Even the manifesto ANC, everybody will tell you. Nobody has got problems with it, but we know you don't have the balls and the skills because of corruption.
Yeah, the boys are gonna chow, my G. The boys are gonna chow, man. It's gonna be a nice time out here.
It's a last bite.
I know. I'm not. Alright, man. So we'll see what happens with it, man. Okay, and then another one that's out here. Kaneke, we've secured more electricity from Mozambique. So I think.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, so initially Mozambique has committed to give us 100 megawatts of power. So that is signed. Garamfana flew down to Mozambique to sign it.
Where does Mozambique get 100?
Because we used to supply Mozambique at some point.
Yeah, apparently.
I know they found gas.
Apparently, they did find gas.
So Mozambique has been in a fight because they found gas deposits or whatever. So I don't know if that eased their energy requirements to create surplus.
Yeah. So yeah, they've committed to give us 100 now.
Okay.
So and they're looking within the next year or two boost that up to about 600 megawatts.
Okay.
That they will give to the country. But the initial 100, it's a done deal. Yeah, Botolukisa fella the paperwork it's more or less done.
Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna get that power.
So that means this.
How much is a megawatt? What is it power? And
Shit,
for how long?
Shit.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah, maybe
know
it's something
how-
I need to look into. Yeah, but I
what
guess
does
sure.
that mean
Yeah,
practically?
yeah. Okay, practically, about 100 so boosting
does
up
that
to
mean?
6. How will it assist?
If there was no load shedding, how long will that last us?
Yeah,
Type of thing.
Yeah,
ne?
yeah. Maybe I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I'll look into that.
Shout out to Alostro one time. He called it. You know, he did say there's a video of him on the socials. Yo, young Mozambique, Lola Tamtlaka.
Is it?
Oh, what?
Yeah, shout out to Alostro, man.
Hey, man.
Alostro for
Alostro.
president.
He's
Guy
this-
who was caught on the news.
yeah, he's like a homeless guy in PTA, I think.
Oh,
yeah.
you went in front of the camera. Babala ditaba.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
like
was
some
like,
of
you
them
took
here
a
have
load.
Alostro.
Even some of them have a lost.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
is-
that's what he said. That's how you got the name. So now people in
What the
Pito.
hell is a lost?
Yeah, so
That's it.
now
The also to really nyaupe and stuff, the side
Yeah,
effects
yeah.
of it.
It's called
Yeah.
a lost.
Withdrawal.
It's a
yeah,
Alostro.
the withdrawal. Yeah. So now what's been happening is that people from PTA, because Bamwadi Dabe, they when they see him in the street, they ask him like a question and put him on
He then goes
record.
viral, yeah.
And then he goes viral. Yeah. So I mean, even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. We tooty there, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. So that's a done deal. So and we've been, I don't know how they've been doing it, but lately we've been getting some good power, man.
I shared an article with you guys. You know what they attributed the excess in
Power that we're getting.
power. One of them, like, hey, the politicians, but, because now they're trying to make it look like it's a better governance issue. They say they did away with the COO role. You know, ESCOM had a CEO and a COO, but because there's no COO,
Mike is picking up this thing. Okay, team.
Can I just to give you some feedback on 1 megawatt of power? What is it power? So I found a blog here. There's a guy. He says the average consumption of a household in an Indian village is 500 watts. So with 1 megawatt of electricity available, you can light up 2,000 households.
With one.
Yeah.
For how long?
It doesn't say for how long.
Oh, Ababu.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, it's one thing to give me power.
Yeah.
If I got power for an hour, it don't mean much to me.
You don't mean much.
So if you're saying it's
Yeah.
enough to power up a home, for how long, my
Yeah.
nigga? For how long?
Yeah. No check it out. Maybe you
find
get
something.
maybe you get something better. Kind of where was I? Electricity. I think we knocked that one out the park. The other one. Get this thing on Multichoice recording losses, bro. And the Twitter sphere being quite
We saw that one coming.
yeah,
Yeah.
quite happy about it. So they've been talk or people are tired of the monopoly that Multichoice has. There is a perception, though I was having chats about on Twitter yesterday, for what they give us, it's expensive. You know what I'm saying? For the value you get, but then I guess but how about compare with international networks and whatnot that are similar to Multichoice, but at the end of the day we get more for less.
Is it?
Yeah, but like when you compare, but at the end of the day, I feel like value and your perception of value, I guess, and we compare it to the price you're paying. It's quite subjective at the end of the day, right? And
I mean, you are in a third world country,
Mm.
so your perception of value is pretty much at the bottom of the barrel.
word.
So if I compare you with a first world nation and what they paying for their cable,
Mm.
you're not the person to tell me about perception of value.
Alright.
Because this nigga,
Because I'm speaking on my my poor ass self.
This nigga has had 100 channels for the past 50 years. You've had 100, not even channels, shows in the past 10 or 15. 20 maybe.
Maybe.
You know? So if a nigga that has had 100 channels since the 1980s tells you that what you're paying at Multichoice is actually a good price.
Yeah, but I'm poor, nigga.
Who are you to say, nah, I'm talking about perception of value.
Of value. Okay, cool.
Not affordability.
Sure.
See, those are two different things.
All right.
But you ain't got enough experience to tell me what's expensive and what's not. Because I've been having this shit.
Word. Listen, I'll take
But
that.
I'm not that's not to say that what they're currently charging is not correct. I haven't had DSTV subscription in my whole life. I've never had a DSTV subscription. I don't even know how much that shit is.
It's like 1,000 now.
And by the time I cared, Netflix was already in the country.
No. Listen, I hear the whole chat on value. I hear, you know, Mara. I guess with our dumbass perception of value, it's affecting the pockets of Multichoice at the end of the day, you know, because they are losing a bit, especially on their high-end premium maybe it's subscription. They are losing subscribers there. People are going for the lower ones, the lower tier ones.
Tiers.
Yeah, where you get your sports channels and a few other channels, as you know. It's a little that's the number. But on the higher end, they're seeing a drop.
But also the consumption habits of the people on the higher end, they are the people that also consider your Multichoice,
your Netflixes
and
and
your whatnot.
Yeah.
Whereas the lower end people,
haven't those avenues.
and to them, DSTV is still a status. It's still a status, Saurkinali dish or whatever.
They usually have an internet.
But these new alternatives come with smart connectivity, come with you having to be digitally savvy. So that's why you find that amongst us, I also took out my DSTV app, I think 6 or 5 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah, because I can go to...
Yeah, you can go to Netflix, you can on the internet,
if you want to
stream sports or
I
whatever.
can even go to YouTube for some of my content and stuff, whereas my mom still thinks DSTV is the end of.
Yeah.
Because people want entertainment. And what we deem as entertainment is very different based on... I don't even think I can even say LSM, but I do realize that I don't like your reality TV shows, your dramas,
your soapies,
you know, my palette insofar as TV is concerned from the generations perspective ended when I went to varsity.
Yeah.
And then I transitioned into a movie and series kind of guy.
Yeah.
Which I could binge watch, you know, with the external hard drive culture that we had for a long time before Netflix came in. When Netflix came, it was like, oh, thank God, then I don't have to.
You don't have to
carry around this 2 terabyte thing anymore.
Yeah.
Where I can just find it on TV. But I couldn't give a fuck about Africa Magic.
Yeah.
Or what's playing on there. Or the Zwabala, the Bala's
reality show.
I don't give a fuck how those niggas
I
are
don't give
living
a
their
fuck
lives.
about that shit. Or Faith. Or DJ Zintle. Or I don't care about that. I'm not. It doesn't entertain me to watch these people live.
But there's
for some people,
there's a huge demographic.
For a lot of people, in fact, the majority of the demographic, people
demographic.
still like the old format TV.
Yes.
So even if you're gonna move me to a different platform, give me what SABC used to give me.
Yeah.
And they gave me sports and they gave me drama.
Yeah.
And comedy.
Those are
comedy.
Those are the
7
genres
o'clock.
I consume. Yeah.
Yeah.
And news.
Yeah. And I guess you know, with Multichoice really, you know, opening up their package, Showmax has sports now. Like they've really, you know, they're really trying to get it. Yeah. And give you a wide variety of options. So Multichoice is not a company that's going to lose its monopoly anytime soon. I believe.
Not anytime soon.
No, not anytime soon.
Bro, can I get a Heineken?
Alright.
Yeah, then they're not gonna lose into Mara. You know, on the upper end, obviously there is a trend of a downward thing, but that even will plateau out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Des, you
saying?
want a beer?
Yeah.
You want a beer?
I think I have a ungai one.
All right. Amazing.
I'm okay, thanks.
Yeah, I think that will plateau out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, and Mozambique it's still a kind of a sports crazy country. So if there isn't like a viable alternative for sports,
Netflix is piloting something on sports soon.
yeah. If there isn't a viable alternative for sports, DSTV will always reign supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I see it. And then what's that? The other one here. Oh yeah, this nigga, man. There was a cop called Freiberg, umata case for kind of refueling his home generator, the company card, you know. So he's on 500 rand bail. So but now they're giving him flack, man. Like kilpone isadi man. So onalo fila ini. He was gonna go fill up the police car, and then he just so happened to fill up his.
Did he do that once?
Yeah,
he's been doing this, because that's how I was trying to get from the article. Did he do this one time, or was this a trend?
He just did it once, B.
Because bro, getting me got for filling up my 25-liter generator
one
with a company
time
card one time is crazy.
It's crazy, bro. You know
and
what
that was, who is it?
Oh, you want his name?
Nah, role.
Oh,
Position.
A police captain. He's
It's a police captain. Yeah, Bamona. Bamona. It's not about the 25.
Yeah, it's not about the 25.
Bamona.
Yeah, he's a police captain, bro.
Bamona.
The internal conflicts.
Yeah.
Bamona.
Yeah.
Bamona.
Yeah, Bamona's fine, in fact.
Bamona, yeah.
Because I just found it fucking crazy, bro. Like
when they've
decided.
yeah,
yeah.
There's a whole another position.
Yeah, stuff like this doesn't come out.
So he's been using it. It's been cool. You might even find that that's a culture. It's an office culture.
Everybody uses it.
Yeah, it's an office culture.
He just got God.
Yeah.
If you've ever had a petrol card from Spanning, you can't tell me every time you filled up your tank was for work purposes.
Yeah, no, for
You're
sure.
lying.
For sure not.
You're lying. So that's why your contract says ukena spaninka 80 uchaka 5.
Yeah.
We spoke on this last week.
Yeah. Ukena spaninka 80 uchaka 5. You tag in every day. Don't nobody care for the past 6 to 7 years, 8 years. Don't nobody care. The day babata honra, they pull the logs.
They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you.
They pull the logs, but you've been tagging into the office at 8:30 to 9 every day for the past 5 years.
That's when they grab you with a technicality when they wanna get your ass, bro.
Bamona.
Grab you with
company phone.
Yeah,
Same
bro.
thing.
Company phones. That's how you get God. Since about 12,
And
taking up a bill, bro.
Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Everybody was doing
But
it.
you can't. But legally, you can't say that.
You can't say everybody was
It's like
doing it.
you know, like this thing, Majita. Yeah. Okay, maybe it's like it's a crime, but like for ease of reference, it's like a woman does not owe you to treat you like how he treat others. She may relax her barriers to entry when it comes to me. But you get sold to, but everybody been eating.
You can't get salty.
You can't use that.
You can't get salty, bro.
I will decide when I decide to enforce the law.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get salty, bro. You really can't get salty, man. G.
Bamona fana.
Hey, man. Alright, man.
Hate to have to be him.
Hey, the boy. The boy.
That's how the game goes.
Hey, that's the
So
game.
what is he suspended or?
He's out on
arrested.
bail. Yeah, he got arrested. He's out on bail. And
Hold
obviously
For
suspended.
fraud.
That's on fraud.
Yeah, that's fraud.
Fraud.
Oh,
Bail
that's
was
the
500,
charge.
right?
It's a charge. It's
Yeah,
fraud.
it's fraud.
You defrauded the company.
Defraud
Is that fraud?
It's fraud.
Yeah.
Nah, it's abuse of company resources.
It's fraud.
It's not fraud.
Because
bro.
if you have to, because remember you have to sign.
It's fraud.
It's fraud. You
It's
have
fraud,
to sign,
bro.
Because there's some in some cases, moonlighting is charged as fraud because but we paid you for this time and you you misrepresented how you spend that time.
Yeah.
You misrepresented how you spend the time.
Yeah, I know. They got the homie, man. I was like strong, fit. Career changes so long, holo chain. Because he's 48. He's 48, man. So Spanish fedile. And has fella chena how to little pakana how ne.
That's why abanwana babang sometimes about working fit. Get transfer.
Bro, how weak are you? You can get God as a police captain.
Hey, bro.
Well, you're allies.
Hey, man.
Or maybe I'm just assuming he doesn't. I don't think this is the end of him.
Because when because I think if you lose your job like this, it fucks up your benefits.
Benefits.
It fuck up. Now I'm in the high school, so just let me resign, B. So I can,
Maybe he overplayed his hand.
Yeah, maybe
he couldn't read the political situation and overestimated his power.
Catch the rest of this episode on Patreon.
Dojo.